She's staring at me. It has been a while since I last reviewed an anime.
It has been 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah. I've been meaning to, I just haven't been able to get around to it. So finally I decided to review another anime.
So, what series are you talking about today?
Another.
Seriously, what series are you reviewing?
The name of the anime is Another. Yeah, that is the actual name of the series. It kind of makes it kind of hard to look up stuff about this series because when you just type in Another, you're not going to get much in relevance to anime. And if you type in Another anime, you're going to get a lot of lists. It's going to be kind of hard to review this anime because it's kind of a mystery. And please forgive me and my mispronunciations. I don't have enough money to actually buy my anime, so I have to watch it off of Crunchyroll.
Is this a sponsored video?
Not that I'd turn down the offer, but I think you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers before you can get a sponsored video. Please subscribe. Yeah, I'll talk about Crunchyroll later on, but yeah, this isn't a sponsored video. Just want to make, if anybody wants to ask, it's not sponsored. But Crunchyroll only has subtitled anime. It doesn't carry any of the dubs. So none of the character names or locations or anything like that are Americanized. They're all in the original Japanese. So if I mispronounce a lot of things, forgive me. Alright, let me go ahead and get to the plot in a sentence. A high school class has to deal with a curse that once triggered kills off one student or someone related to the student once a month. I think it's supposed to be a horror, but I just don't really feel scared by it. Although it does have a very creepy start and a very dire tone all the way through the series. And the deaths are gruesome. The scenery of the show, it's a very realistic design, a very true design artwork. It's like every street they walk down, it just looks like a photograph they're walking through. Well, except for people's faces, they're kind of the typical anime style. Kind of holds off the uncanny valley effect, but yeah, all of the scenery, it's like really well drawn, and I really do love the opening song. It's a really catchy tune.
You don't even speak Japanese.
I know, it's a cool sound. Alright, the main characters starting with Kuiichi Sakihabara. Again, I'm not very familiar with Japanese, so I probably just annihilated that dude's name. But he's a transfer student from Tokyo.
A mysterious transfer student.
Oh, come on.
He is a transfer student in a cursed high school. I am going to be all over that.
Oh, whatever. But well, there really isn't anything special about Koichi Sakihabara. There's nothing really special about him. He just transferred to this school because his mother had passed away, but his dad was out of the country, so he was living with his grandparents. So he had transferred to a small village. And there's nothing really special about him except for he had a lung condition that meant he missed out the first couple days of school. Unfortunately, that was the only time the curse could be properly explained. He wakes up in the hospital being visited by the head of the countermeasures committee, Izumi Kawazawa. Sorry. She tells him pretty much, whatever you do, don't break the rules. But she doesn't tell him any of the rules because that would be kind of breaking the rules.
That is bullshit.
Yeah, no kidding. He keeps trying to find out what's going on, and people keep glaring at him because he's breaking the rules, because you're really not supposed to talk about any of this stuff or it will trigger the curse. But he's just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. One of his other classmates, Mikami. I think I actually got that one right. Anyway, she's a quiet girl that always keeps to herself, but the way the other classmates treat her really piques his interest in her. Yeah, her family runs a doll shop, but it really doesn't play any effect other than being just creepy as hell. It's an eye patch, and that hides an eye that will play later in the series. Yeah, even though he tries to get close to her and figure out what's going on with the classroom and what's going on with her, people keep glaring at him because he's going to trigger this curse that's going to kill everybody. Another character that he starts to become friends with is Tashigawa Naota. Now I got that Naota right, but anyway, yeah, he starts becoming friends with him, but then later on circumstances he has to be ignored. He can't talk to him either. Damn the rules. You get the feeling that he's a pretty okay guy, even though he's kind of conflicted by what's going on around him. And just like all the other students, he's scared of what's going on. Yeah, the one teacher that seems to know really what's going on is sorry, these names. Tatsuji Chibi Kibi. Huh. Anyway, yeah, he's the librarian. He used to be the homeroom teacher of the class that's cursed. Since that class has been cursed, he decided to be a librarian instead. You'd think he'd just go to another school, but the reason he knows about what's going on is because he was a teacher from when this whole curse thing started. I'm going to put a spoiler thing up here because it's kind of a spoiler when they finally get around to explaining what this curse thing is. 26 years before the story that we're watching now, a popular student had passed away. And since that student was so popular, nobody wanted to acknowledge the death of that student. So they just pretended that student was still alive and in the class. Ever since that year, there's been either a student in the class or someone related to the person, someone in the class, who has been a ghost. That they don't know who, they don't remember being a ghost, and nobody knows who the ghost is. So someone in the class has to pretend to be the ghost. And if someone talks to the person who's pretending to be the ghost, it will, I don't know if it'll make the ghost jealous or it'll just trigger the curse. So if the person who's pretending to be the ghost stops being the ghost, because that happens some of the years because it's kind of psychologically draining to be isolated from everybody. If that person is engaged with, that will trigger everybody to start dying one by one, and some pretty gruesome deaths. The good points. Okay, this might sound kind of messed up, but one of the good points is that the death scenes are really kind of graphic. It's kind of cathartic to watch. They really aren't messing around when someone dies. A lot of media will, right when they're about to get injured, the scene will cut away or switch to some kind of camera angle or something that will cut away from the injury, but not here. When you see someone die, you're seeing them die.
So, you like watching kids getting hurt and traumatized?
Not exactly what I meant. And I'm sure there's significantly more gory anime out there. It's just something nice, fresh for me personally to see someone actually getting hurt. One of the great things about the series is the art style is very realistic. It really looks like you're watching a bunch of photographs. You know, when they look out a building, look out a window, or look at a building, or walk down the street, it just looks like they're in that city, that town. It really adds to the atmosphere of the show. And one of the greatest things about this series is it really is a person versus environment show. So many shows, I don't know about anime because I haven't seen all that much anime, but a lot of conflicts will set up as person versus environment, and at the end they'll throw in a bad guy just to make a conflict resolve, or they don't know what to do with the series, so yeah, there's a bad guy who's setting everything up. But here, it really just plays out the entire time as person versus environment. And they just go ahead and let the situation resolve itself. Yeah, a lot of people end up dead, and it's pretty gruesome deaths too. But it wasn't at least it wasn't at the last moment, hey, boom, there's a bad guy who profited from the whole situation. It's just, the situation has no twist ending. It's just, it plays out the way it's playing out. And I just hate it when they just like throw in a villain at the last second just so they can have a bad guy. The main things about it is, one of the major bad points about it is I just don't think it's all that scary. Well, there's more to being scary than just splashing ketchup everywhere. It would have been nice if they would have focused more on the stress of, are they next? Is this person next? There was some question whether some of the deaths were triggered by the curse, or were they just happened to be dead. It did focus a little bit on Koichi thinking it was his fault. That was kind of interesting twist. Like, he had bad dreams where people say, "This is your fault. This is all you." And it's kind of interesting there, but they didn't really explore that all that much as they could, I think. And that they really didn't focus on, oh my god, we're getting picked off one by one. It's just, oh no, it's so sad that person is dead. Yeah, that's sad that someone's dead, but you know someone else is gonna die any minute now, and it's like, it'd be great if they focused more on the stress of who is next or something like that. I realize this is really a kind of a personal issue, but I don't remember people very well. So there's like, say some guy's getting ran over by a forklift. I'm sitting there, oh, that sucks for that. So who's that? Was that someone in the class? Do I know that person? So it's like, who are these people that's getting like crushed by a boulder? I don't know this guy. So I realize that's completely my fault because I don't remember people that well. But it's like, when people like drop off, it doesn't have much emotional impact because I don't really know who that person was anyway. Although the art style is a very realistic look, it doesn't have a whole lot of variety in its environment. Yeah, supposedly it takes place over an entire year, but every day looks like a rainy fall day. So it looks like it's just another dreary fall day that someone just got whacked off. Yeah, even in the beach episode.
Seriously? There's a beach episode in this show?
Yeah, there's a boat. Anyway, yeah, it looks like a cold, clammy day. It's like, yeah, let's go out to the beach. And it's cold, clammy weather. That's kind of more of a nitpick type thing, but one of the major things I don't like about this series is they'll say, hey, there's something going on because but we can't talk about it because it's against the rules. And then two episodes later, it's like, okay, here's everything about what's going on. Okay. So, and okay, that's everything that's going on. Well, we gotta find out what's going on. How do we fix this thing? 2 episodes later, we don't know how to fix this thing. 2 episodes later, okay, here's everything, how we fix everything. There goes the mystery on that. It's not like they really spend a whole lot of time figuring out how things work. It's just they come up with the idea and that's how it works.
Well, it is a short series.
Yeah, it is only 6 episodes long, so they don't really have a whole lot of time to hammer things out. But it would be nice if they would spend a little more time trying instead of just like, okay, here's everything just spelled out for you. There's also something else about this series. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but there's just some kind of feel to this anime where I just get the feeling that if I watch more anime, I'll see a lot of in those other animes of what's in this anime. I don't want to say it's generic. It just, to me, I don't think it should stand out too much. Hell, maybe that's why they call it another. But I don't want to say this is a bad series. In fact, I highly recommend it. It's I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 out of 5. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely has a great sense of foreboding around it. They do have that solid line tone all the way through the series, and I don't want to be too critical of it because this is only the third series I've seen in its entirety, so maybe just that's how anime works. Yeah, just before I wrap up, I just wanted to say a couple things about Crunchyroll. Yeah, I don't know if this is my computer, Crunchyroll, or the internet I have, but it seemed to be running really slow, or it have a hard time playing the videos. This happens to a lot of sites I play videos on other than YouTube. YouTube plays perfectly on my computer, but when I go to other sites to watch, when I used to follow some other people on some other sites that when I played their video, it would just play like complete ass. But anyway, in Crunchyroll, it'd play real well a lot of times until it got to a commercial. And there's a lot of commercials on Crunchyroll. There's a lot of ads and pre-roll ads, and I get it. I get they have to make a living, and that's where you're making a living on the internet from ads. And if you pay to subscribe to Crunchyroll, you can take off the ads off the videos. As unfortunately, I don't have any money to subscribe to Crunchyroll. But the main thing I have a problem with with Crunchyroll is a lot of times after the commercial, it'll go back to the show, and they're just stuck in the middle of the show. The video itself is just stuck. No one's moving, no one's talking, no one's doing anything, but the audio keeps going. So I got a subtitle of a sentence that's 2 or 3 conversations ago that no one's moving yet, and then it'll just jump to wherever it's finished loading from. Unfortunately, a lot of times when I click back to where the video stopped moving, it'll play the freaking commercials again and start all over again. I don't know if that's just my computer or my internet, but yeah, I don't know if does anybody else have that problem with Crunchyroll? And if anybody has a legitimate site I can watch a dubbed anime, it'd be great if anybody knew. And no, pirating isn't a legitimate way to watch anime. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out at the end here. Have you seen this series before? Comment below if you like this series. If you have any suggestions, are appreciated for anime review. I have a pretty long list of videos of series I want to record, but I'm getting tired. I'm rambling. So like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thanks for watching.